What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of The Lead Houston, where it's all Houston all the time. The Houston Texans are in the latest mock draft for ESPN, this way of Mel Kiper Jr. This is his latest mock draft that we are going to be reacting to. Remember, this is ESPN Plus exclusive content. You can't get this content unless you have a subscription, but this guy right here, let me be your key to access said locked content. So let's go ahead and get into it. Mel Kiper, again, latest mock draft. As we all know, Mel Kiper, one of the better draft scout analysts in football. I mean, everybody knows who he is. I'm not the biggest fan of Mel Kiper. I think he's a little over the top, but hey, that's what got him his money so far, right? Keep being over the top. It is what it is. It's working for him. So while we're at it, guys, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We are on the road to 13,000 subscribers. If I haven't reached it yet, we are just under about 15 subscribers away. So make sure you do your part. It is free 99. So go down there and subscribe. Why not? Because you are missing out on all the latest Houston sports content there is. Astros, Rockets, Texans. I try to do it all. There's definitely going to be a lot of Rockets content coming up with the playoffs right around the corner. The Rockets with the second seed, 50-plus wins. Exciting times for the Rockets basketball. Shout out to my Cougs, man. My Cougs didn't make it, but we got next year, man. We got 3 5-star recruits on the way. Most of this team will be back as well next year. I feel like there is a good chance they can go ahead and take another crack at this, but it hurt yesterday. It hurt really bad. It hurt really, really bad. So, shout out to the Cougs. I thought they were going to win, and I thought they should have won. It is what it is. But let's get into this mock draft of Mel Kiper Jr. Again, this is a 2-round mock draft, and obviously this is a Houston Texans state of mind. Now, we're going to take a peek at our AFC South neighbors because we're nosy like that. But ultimately, if I don't scroll to them, I don't scroll to them. I'm going straight to the Houston Texans. So let's go ahead and get to it. Mel Kiper just posted this morning at 5:50 a.m. Central Time. He's talking about big team needs, top prospects, his latest mock draft in March. Since his latest mock draft in March, he's got 5 QBs getting picked, including 2 in the top 10. Who cares? Let's get into it. Tennessee Titans are taking Cam Ward. Kind of feels like that's an absolute now, right? Kind of feels like Titans are going to take Cam Ward. Hey, bring that rookie over here to the AFC South, and I know my Houston Texans defense is going to make that rookie look worse than any rookie there is. D'Amico Ryans will definitely have his way with Cam Ward, and I can't wait to see it. Travis Hunter to the Browns. Interesting. Giants get Abdul Carter. Let's take a look here. The Jaguars still getting Mason Graham. That defensive line is going to get a whole lot scarier, and our offensive line needs to add some youth and talent. We can all agree to that. So let's keep it moving. Raiders getting Genty. All right. Membu goes to the Jets. Shador going to the Saints. We got Tyler Warren now going to the Bears now. Yeah, remember, we've seen Tyler Warren continuously get mocked to the Indianapolis Colts. Very interesting to see there that maybe he goes to the Bears at number 10. So now it makes me wonder, who do the Colts get now at, I believe, 14? And the Colts do get the second best tight end on the board, Colston Loveland out of Michigan. Not a shocker. They need something for whatever quarterback they're going to have playing, whatever you call them, 2 quarterbacks. I don't know what they are, but they do need something, so you can't disagree with that. Moving on, though, let's get it going. Matthew Golden goes to 16 off the board. Kelvin Banks off the board. Nick Emenwuri, Tet McMillan, Derek Harmon, Gray Zabel. All of these guys are off the board. And the Houston Texans miss out on Donovan Jackson, but they do end up with Oregon offensive tackle Josh Connerly Jr. Look, a lot of y'all remember this name because Jordan Reed, ESPN's NFL draft analyst, was just on my YouTube channel a few days ago. If you missed it, make sure to check it out. And specifically, there is a short that I've already posted with him talking about Josh Connerly Jr. specifically. So if you just want that clip itself, there is a short on the YouTube channel. That's why you got to be subscribed, man. We're on the road to 15K. So again, appreciate every single one of y'all. But let's get into the description, what Mel Kiper got here. The pass protection really hurt C.J. Stroud in the Houston offense last season, sacked 52 times. Texans began an overhaul of the O-line this offseason, trading away Laramie Tunsil. Unit's one sure thing. They can't risk wasting another year of Stroud's rookie contract by forcing him to constantly offend for himself, against opponent pass rushes. Houston, Cam Robinson, Trent Brown signed, but shouldn't be satisfied. Connerly's consistent, allowed 2 sacks over his college career. He'd help keep C.J. Stroud clean in the pocket. Josh Connerly has some great film. And when you look at him overall against Abdul Carter, who you saw in this draft in the top 5, no pressures against Abdul Carter. He held his own. Josh Connerly, I think, is somebody that could really solidify the offensive line in terms of one of the tackle positions. You don't know what you got on the offensive line, but you're going to throw a bunch of them in the blender and see what happens. Josh Connerly instills both youth, talent, good feet, good athleticism, bit of a project, and I know that has a negative connotation, but I mean, like, he still got some ways to go. But considering what you got at offensive tackle, I would assume Josh Connerly wins the job and is your starting tackle week 1 for the Texans if this was the pick. So that's the little basis right there on Josh Connerly Jr. We're going to keep it moving here. The Texans now have number 58. Remember, this is a 2-rounder, a little bit of a long video, but we're going to get into it. We're going to keep scrolling and take a look all the way to 58, where our Houston Texans, you see the Titans get Oluwafemi Oladejo, the linebacker, edge rusher, really, out of UCLA. He visited with the Houston Texans, too, by the way. Emeka Egbuka, I'm telling y'all, if he is there, this is 36, but if Egbuka is somewhere around this range, I would not mind the Houston Texans trading up. It wouldn't shock me if they traded up and went ahead and got him. New England Patriots get Luther Burden, my guy Walter Nolan at 39. There goes Travion Henderson at 41. Elijah Arroyo, somebody the Texans met with. Kenneth Grant is someone the Texans met with. Okay, let's see who else we got here. Sharon Revel, someone else the Texans. Christian Junkins is someone else the Texans met with. It's a lot of guys coming off the board now. Jack Beck, Mason Taylor, Isaiah Bond. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Houston Texans get themselves a wide receiver in Jalen Noel. Let's go ahead and read the description here. Noel is an extremely reliable slot target with good hands, looseness after the catch, and acceleration out of his breaks. The former high school sprinter ran a 4.39 40 at the combine, posted some impressive jumps, 41.5 inches in the vert, 11 foot 2 inches in the broad. Noel also produced last season 80 catches, 1,200 yards, and 8 tutties. Houston lost to Stephon Diggs to the Pats. Tank Dell's availability is uncertain for 2025. This pick could pay off immediately. I have no problem with Jalen Noel. He is the counterpart of Jaden Higgins at Iowa State. And you see he had the good amount of production as well. The big thing that is leading to Jalen Noel's day 2 upside is not only is he a solid wide receiver on the field, but he is the Big 12 Coast Special Teams Player of the Year. What does that mean? He played kick returner and punt returner. The dude can play special teams, and that is super valuable to the Houston Texans, to Frank Ross. You know Frank Ross would love this pick, and the Houston Texans could actually legitimately get themselves a kick return, punt return guy, something they don't necessarily have. I know they got Dameon Pierce, and I know he did it, and he's done an okay job at it, but Noel, in my opinion, is leaps and bounds better. He's natural at it. Dameon Pierce is still learning. Like, he's just like thrown into the room there, and he's just learning as he goes. And I know it's been mildly successful, but I just don't see what else Dameon Pierce does for you special teams wise. Even as a backup running back, we don't know entirely how he's going to fit this scheme. Jalen Noel, very good hands, good acceleration, as I said. He's super, super shifty, 5'10", 194. That is his size. So, yeah, a little bit short for the wide receivers department, but that's kind of the way of the league right now. And Jalen Noel to me is a good counterpart to Nico Collins, and I am not afraid of him being in the slot. I know Christian Kirk's a slot guy, but Nick Caley has worked with two heavy slot guys with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. I know them two are extremely different than Christian Kirk and Jalen Noel, but I have confidence that Nick Caley could figure this out. And at 58, this isn't too bad of a pick here, considering everything else that came off the board there. So Jalen Noel, the pick here at 58. There are no more picks for Mel Kiper here, but 25, 58. What do y'all think, Texans fans? Number 25 ended up being Josh Connerly Jr., the offensive tackle out of Oregon. 58 ended up being a wide receiver in Jalen Noel. The Houston Texans immediately get two players that can produce for you day one. That's not a bad get right there. I know it's not the names that a lot of people are looking for, but Josh Connerly is very solid offensive tackle, and I believe Jalen Noel can be very productive with Nick Caley and the Houston Texans. And again, considering the future of the wide receiver room, Jalen Noel could provide some length and longevity for the wide receiver room because we don't know what we're going to get out of Tank Dell. I'm pretty sure he's going to be out. So like he said in there, Stephon Diggs is gone. You do got Christian Kirk. I would still expect the Texans to grab somebody else at wide receiver in this draft, maybe an outside guy, but that's going to be late in the draft. Who knows if they see fit, or do they just grab a veteran off the streets in free agency? Who knows? But those are the two picks: Josh Connerly, Jalen Noel. Y'all let me know whether or not y'all agree or disagree with Mel Kiper Jr.'s mock draft down in the comment section. Reply, do your thing. Drop a swarm. I know how y'all feeling if you drop a swarm, because we always swarming in Htown, baby. Regardless of the loss of the Houston Cougars, we always swarming here on the Lead Houston, where it's all Houston all the time. As always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. You have a blessed day.